This is not a training program. This is not, a class. This is not a coaching program. It's a collaboration. And by definition, collaboration means everybody gives and takes. Everybody helps out. Everybody does those things. Hi, this is Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to the Magellan Network Show. My goal inside of this communication, this show, is to share with you my nearly 30 years of coaching some of the most successful financial advisors in North America. We're going to be talking about strategies, syntaxes. We're going to be bringing guests on from time to time, and I'm going to share with you what's working now. So think of this show as sort of like a little one-on-one kind of mini coaching cast, if you like, where we're going to be going in depth from time to time on strategies to help you grow your business, get more effective, become more efficient, find balance in your time management, grow your business, and quite frankly, whatever else is going on in the world today. So before we get to today's episode, I'd love for you to do a couple things for me. Number one, make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're doing the audio, make sure that you give us a review on whether Spotify or Apple. We'd really appreciate that. And quite frankly, that does help. It does matter when you rate things and like things and subscribe to things. It helps us get the word out to more of the industry. And lastly, I have a very special gift for you. Go to MagellanNetwork.net, so one word, MagellanNetwork.net, and I have for you a complimentary membership, 100% gratis, where you can tap into about between 50 and 75 hours of masterclasses, forms, tools, templates, and strategies. So please go ahead and make sure you go ahead and get that claimed. Smash the like button and subscribe. And please go ahead and leave us a review on whatever podcasting platform you're on. And now, let's get to this week's episode. Hi, it's your Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. In this episode, I want to continue our conversation that we started actually in Park City last week. I know we took a little detour just because we had our Mastering the Art of People program up. But today, in this episode, I want to go ahead and give you strategies, best practices, how to associate, how to network with like-minded advisors. So if you go back, not the last episode, but the episode before that, I laid out why it's important for every advisor not to operate inside of their or on their own island, right? Look, I don't care if you're in a branch of 50 or 100 advisors. This is still a lonely business. Don't make no mistake about it. Your colleagues are your competitors. Everybody's after the same thing. So it's really important that you connect and associate and talk to other like-minded advisors, because if you don't do that, you get very much tunnel vision. You get kind of the way you see the game, and quite frankly, you get in your own head too much. And when you're in your own head, according to Tony Robbins, you're what? Dead. So we want to get out of our head and connect with other like-minded advisors. So I'm going to give you 10 strategies here, and these are ones that I recommend to all my clients. So they tried, they're proven, they work, they're meaningful. So I'm not saying number one is number one, so there's really no hierarchy, just kind of how it kind of, I wrote it out. So the first one, and I think being involved with a mastermind or a study group is critically important. So like I coach some of the most successful insurance producers at some of the largest insurance companies out there, and they're all involved with study groups. And I would say the insurance industry pioneered the concept of small mastermind study groups for their agents/advisors. And it has proven to be invaluable for my personal clients. Some of them have been with the same study group for 10, 15 years. So you want to seek those out. You can also form your own mastermind group. So when I say form your own group, this is not a referral group. This is not a leads group. This is not BNI. Okay, this is not whatever else is out there, right? This is very much dedicated to maybe 4 to 6 like-minded advisors. The challenge sometimes you have is local guys don't like, or local people don't like to share their kind of secrets, right? Because of competitors. But, I think you can overcome that and find or form a local mastermind group. And if you did that, and maybe I'll dedicate an episode on how to, because some best practices around that. But either join one or form one. If you can't find one, shameless plug. Contact us, contact me. I run several that are virtual and that are also live. Been doing it for almost 20 years now. One of the most joyful things I do, we just, as some of you know, we just got back from Park City a couple of weeks ago. For the live groups, we do an East Coast, West Coast thing, every year. So find a group, and it's not a leads group, not a network group. And like I said, if you can't find one, consider building one. And quick sidebar, if you want to build one, all you need is like 2 other people. Like 3 of you would be a mastermind. Actually, by definition, 2 people are a mastermind. So all you need is like 2 other colleagues, the 3 of you get together for like lunch or dinner once a month, and you talk shop, right? And when I say talk shop, not moaning and complaining about the world, but hey, what's going on? What are your goals? How can we help you? Where are you stuck? What are your cruxes? Things like that. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, industry events. So I think there's a lot of value in going to industry events. Would I go to the same event every year? Probably not. I think you maybe find 3 or 4, and then you do an every other year type thing. Several of my clients went to Future Proof this year, loved it, so I can definitely recommend that. Nitrogen does their event, which I highly, highly recommend. FPA's kind of all over the place, so pick something that makes sense. But I would say 1 or 2 industry events would probably serve all of you really, really well. It's an opportunity to kind of see what's out there. Every client that came back from Future Proof this year was on fire, all the new technology that's coming down the road, right? So I think a lot of times that's good. And if you're involved with a firm, right, whether as an IBD or wire or whatever, obviously you're going to go to those conferences, and there's nothing wrong with that. But let me just make this point. It is very much a closed-looped ecosystem. So if you belong to one of those organizations, yeah, you want to go to the your firm stuff, but then I would pick one event a year, maybe 1 year to do Future Proof, 1 year to do Nitrogen. You kind of flip-flop back and forth, and you just kind of get a different feel for what's out there, right, and see what's going on, and it let it open your eyes. It's funny, like other professionals, like doctors especially, they go to all these medical conventions, and we can argue about what goes on there, but they go because they want to keep up on what's going on in their space. Well, same thing here, right? So I would say 2 events a year, maybe 1 of your firms, 1 industry. If you're totally RIA, to pick 2 industry, maybe FPA, Schwab Impact, whatever, and make that happen. 3rd, online communities. So whether it's forums, LinkedIn, other things like that, get involved with some of them. It's not everybody's an online person. I totally get that. But seek those out. And the only thing I would say about LinkedIn, and I'm just this little, kind of observation. I used to be very active in all the LinkedIn advisor communities. And then over several years, they've become really more pitch fest for every consultant out there to hawk their wares. So, would I sit there and say it's a great thing? I don't know about that. Obviously, we run communities here inside the Magellan Network, which are closed loop, by invitation only, application oriented. But find one, look around, see what's out there. And maybe there's some LinkedIn groups that are hard to get into, and those are probably the best ones because they're going to have a higher quality of participants. So, and not that I want you to spend all your day on this. Let me be very clear on this. I'm not asking you to spend your day on LinkedIn or trolling posts or stuff like that. But look for that, right? It can kind of help fill in the gap. I think that's really important. Number 4, be super, super selective. So this is not about running around with, I'm in 5 groups and 3 forums and all that. No. Pick 1, maybe 2, right? Maybe 1 mastermind group, 1 online forum that says, yeah, these are my people, right? And be super selective. It's quality over quantity. It's super important. You want to surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you, not the ones that drain your energy. Now, look, there's limits to this because we can keep going. But like in my the 3 groups I run, live. Okay, so top down, Empire is going to fall between $5 and $50 million of top line revenue. Empire X is going to fall between kind of 1 and 5, right? They're aspiring, and Elite is going to fall. Empire X probably like 1.5 to 4 right now, and then Elite is going to be anything under that. That makes sense, right? So each group has. You don't want to be like a multi-million-dollar producer in a group of. Like, you're not trying to build an empire and you're in a group of lifestyle practices. I mean, you can add a lot of value to them. I don't know what you're going to get back, right? Hi, Coach Joe Lucas here, and I'm just breaking here for a moment just to do a couple quick reminders. Number one, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast. In addition, please leave a comment or a review. Those things really, really matter. And share this episode with 3 of your colleagues inside the financial services space. And lastly, make sure that you go ahead and claim your free membership inside of Magellan Network. Now back to this week's episode. So you want to be very selective and make sure it's the right fit for you. And it's okay to say no. Just because you're invited to something, if it's not the right something, please don't do it. It's not necessary. Okay. So once you're involved, what next? I like the idea of checking. So I have an informal board. I understand it's not even really a board. I have an informal group of industry experts that I speak to. It's not a group, but I have one-on-ones every quarter with. Like, there's 5 or 6, and we swap intel, what's going on, what we're seeing, where we can collaborate, right? And I'm very selective of who's in that group. And I've gone through, when I say I've gone through, I've started a lot of relationships and then ended a lot of relationships because they weren't the right relationships. And you just want to be real clear on that it's okay. So regular check-in one-on-ones, you think a group thing, but individual, meaningful, whether it's face-to-face or online collaborations, are very valuable. And I want to say this because I just literally talked to one of my collaborators literally the day before I'm recording this, and I won't get into kind of names and firms, but like, he started as an advisor, then became a productivity manager, then went to a national firm, and then now he's involved in the custodial world. And I've known this gentleman now for I bet you we're on 17, 18 years. And, it's funny, we talk and we know the same people. And this is a small world. I don't care how many hundreds of thousands of advisors and staff and all that jazz. Don't make any mistake. This is a small world. And reputations matter. And you don't burn bridges, because that will come back to bite you. It's so funny. So a quick sidebar. I had the privilege of talking to a father-son team at a major firm, and we're talking. He goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know that so-and-so said really, really good things about you." I'm like, "Man, I haven't worked with that guy in over 12 years, but I had such an impact. He endorsed me." You can't buy that. So point being is, don't burn bridges. Always be diplomatic. I think that's super important. Number 6, share. So when I create my groups, okay, this is kind of the balance point. I want you to kind of hear this. I want faucets and sponges. So what does that mean? I want people that will give information, and I want people that will absorb information. I don't want just sponges, right? And so you got to give. And one of my groups, one of my early groups I started, I kind of let some sponges hang around too long. And then when I forced them to become faucets, they had nothing and they exited. It's okay. So you want to share openly, honestly, and this is the way I explain my groups. I say I look to build groups that have enough commonality to get along, but enough things that are different to find each other interesting. Okay? You don't want to have a mirror carbon copy, because you're not getting anything new there, right? Just kind of the same. So always keep that in mind. Next, growth. So this is about adding value. So, if you go to a conference, hey, this is what I heard. Like, oh, this is what I got handed out. I went to this presentation. Here's a copy of the deck. Like, you want to share freely and openly, to help each other, right? So it's not just about, what am I going to get? It's like, what are you going to give? And the more you give, the more you get out of these groups. And that's super important. This is not a training program. This is not, a class. This is not a coaching program. It's a collaboration. And by definition, collaboration means everybody gives and takes. Everybody helps out. Everybody does those things. So just want to be very clear, that's something super, super important, right? When you're involved with any group. So just kind of keep that in mind. Next, I love the idea, and I had it at Future Proof. I have it at Schwab Impact. I have it at Nitrogen. Several of my clients, mastermind members, they'll say, hey, who's going to what this year? And like a lot of my groups, they'll swap. Oh, I'm going to go to this conference. And 3 or 4 of that group, hey, let's get together while we're there. And, whether we share hotel rooms or hang out to dinner or just hang out, right? They know each other well. Look to do that, right? So attend things collaboratively, whether it's, physically, like go somewhere, or online, or like, let your people know what's going on, like share the wealth. That, I've got clients that bring me back, and I guess maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'll say it anyway. Every time one of my clients is involved in another coaching program and I share the wealth, I'm totally comfortable with that. They always bring me back to stuff like, oh, here's what they're talking about, and here's some of their stuff, and here's their deck, and here's the workbook, and here's a copy of this, copy of that. And, I'm not saying I don't push it out on the internet or anything like that, but I kind of see what's going on out there, and, it helps me, right? So same scenario there. You want to do that. Next, number 9, basically celebrate. So we'll all commiserate together, but you want to celebrate together. So be happy when your team member or mastermind member hits a milestone, right? Or gets a massive win. Like celebrate. There's no room in these groups for jealousy. And that's the one thing I always talk is like, if somebody's crushing it, be happy for them. Don't be jealous of them. And if they're crushing it, actually, well, what are they doing I'm not doing, right? So in other words, what's their game doing that my game is not, right? So that's how we learn. But never jealousy, because once you get jealous, you stop listening, you stop thinking, you stop absorbing, you just kind of go into hate mode, right? We don't want that. And I've seen that, by the way, in my early groups, before I really got good at kind of picking the players, we'd have people that were jealous of other people, and it's just not a good dynamic. This is not. Or you can't have somebody just dominate the whole group, right? So the other thing too, and then this is like, I'm giving you like my trial and errors here. Early in my career, when I formed my first group, I allowed a couple members to dominate it. Almost felt like they were co-running it with me. And, I would never do that today. But how do I say it? It can rub people the wrong way. And so you want to be very, very, very conscious of that, just going forward. And then the last thing I'll say, number 10, is being proactive. If everybody sits back and waits for something to happen, nothing will ever happen, right? So decide to be a leader. Reach out. Put that intro email together. Like, go do this. Maybe on a Friday, you say, what I tend to do, like with mine, I'll always ask my people, my 5 or 6 that I collaborate with, hey, who else should I be talking to? Oh, you should really meet so-and-so. Great, can you set that up? They always do it, right? And I'm not saying that every time that happens, it's like this magnificent, wonderful, long-term relationship. Sometimes it's like one-and-done conversations. There's not a meeting of the minds, or the personalities don't mesh, or I just don't see a path forward with anything, and that's okay. But point is, be the driver, not the passenger. If you want stuff to happen in your world, you got to make it happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for you. You're going to go make it happen for yourself. So if you're like, oh man, I wish I could find a group, I just can't find a group. Good, go build one. I can't find an online community. Go research. I think there's a couple places, I don't know off the top of my head. You could probably find a list you can probably just Google financial advisor industry conferences, or ask ChatGPT or your favorite AI tool, and find out where and when everything is. and then approach it that way. But do not play this game alone. You need a team. And just because you're at a firm does not mean you're on a team. It just means you're at a firm. Get your own team. Get your people. Okay? So that's our conversation for this week. So if you could do me a couple favors. Number one, if you could thumbs up this video if you're doing this on YouTube, or like the podcast episode, write a review for us. That's very, very meaningful. Share this episode with some colleagues in the game. And again, if you're seeking a meaningful, powerful association of like-minded advisors, check out MagellanNetwork.net. With that, see you all in 7 days. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, if any of this resonated with you, I invite you to come to MagellanNetwork.net, and we have a powerful group coaching community of like-minded advisors. Come in for a trial. You and I will have a one-on-one conversation. Let's see if I can help elevate your game, both personally and professionally.